I am super excited I get to share with you today's speaker, what we've all been waiting for, Nathan France. That's right. He's sharing his talk on 5 core beliefs that will allow you to scale your business under any conditions. And ladies and gentlemen, we're under different conditions than we've ever been under before in this worldwide pandemic. So I can't wait to hear what he has to share with us. I'm going to bring up my friend, Nathan France.
Sounds good, brother. So I love what Travis said. Just 60 seconds on why I believe that's true. Our first companies we were doing in 1994, 1995. So we've been through everything, 9/11, right? Vicious recessions, right? Housing crises, mortgage crises. We've been through all of that in all of these different industries, guys. So I'm excited to share like a foundational, maybe even a cornerstone concept with you today. So let's just get after it. These 5 core beliefs. Quick belief check for everybody. It's good to know where you start something. So quick belief check, guys. 0 is like, I don't believe anything, right? 0 is the lowest. 10 being, you know what? I 100% believe that this is true. Rate yourself in all fairness. So look, you've got an industry that you're part of. Maybe it's the construction industry. Maybe it's the mortgage industry. Maybe it's the banking industry, right? 0, you have 0 faith or trust in that industry. 10 is, look, I've been in that industry for 50 years. I know exactly what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, how I'm doing it. 100% belief in that industry. Give yourself a number. Belief in your current company. Again, 0 being the worst. 10 is like, look, they're going to drag me out of this company feet first. How about belief in your products, right? Whether you know it or not, whether you're the busboy at the restaurant or you're all the way up to a shareholder or owner of that company, you have a product that you're part of. Where's your belief in that product? Of course, belief in the profit or compensation. And again, compensation could be anything from money, spiritual, right? Financial, right? Peace of mind, volunteering. It could be however you feel compensated, right? That would be the answer to that, right? Because again, it doesn't necessarily have to be money. And of course, the last one is the people, and that includes you. 0 to 10, right? Go ahead and rate yourself and look, have fun with this and be honest with yourself, because nobody's going to see this but you. We jokingly say lie to everybody else, but on this one, you don't have to lie to yourself. So what we're looking at, guys, is what is a belief window. One of my coaches and mentors, I've got a personal relationship with Mr. Tony Jury, dozens and dozens of success books on clarity, focus, and execution. Look, Tony says this, guys, your belief window is how you perceive and understand everything in your life. It frames all of your views and influences the actions you take, but it can also be wrong and limited. So what does that mean? It's almost like you're looking out a window, and if somebody has drawn the shades and you just can't see all of the information correctly, if that makes sense. So as we're analyzing this data together, let's have some fun again. Let's go into belief in your industry. So if you take a look at this slide, you're going to see the FedEx truck. We've seen this every day. Literally, I've seen a FedEx truck probably 50 times today, just in my travels today alone. You look at the side of the FedEx and everybody sees the arrow in the logo. They're like, hey, that makes complete sense. And that's in alignment with my window, right? My belief window. But however, if you look very close at the E, there's actually a spoon built in there, arguably because FedEx, right, is a company that wants to serve. Now, most of us have looked at that FedEx logo more than 50 times a day their whole life and have never seen the spoon. So that's what we're talking about, our belief window. So let's think of your industry. So when you look at, let's just use AGC as an example, one of the most powerhouse networking groups in my mind, up and coming, not only in the United States now, but globally. There's hundreds and thousands of people that are part of just what we do on these things. So Travis, it's unbelievable. But when you think of that industry, maybe you think of networking. So you have a perception or a belief, as we call it, of networking. And if it's 0, right, what do you think the odds are somebody's ever going to get on a Zoom like this or attend a BNI or a business to business. They go, I've been part of those things before, just a waste of time. They don't work for me. Well, does that sound like I have a 0 in belief, or does that sound like I have a 10? It probably sounds like I have closer to a 0, right? Maybe a 1 or a 2, because I've obviously attended networking, but I've now created a story or a belief around the industry. So my challenge is, as you're looking at this slide, begin to look at these slides and go, where's my belief at with that? Right? Because if my belief again is a 0, I'm probably not executing at the correct level. Right? Oh, my industry has been taken out by, what's going on in the world. Believe it or not, some people go, that's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And somebody else in the same industry goes, that's the worst thing that's ever happened. I think our company's going to go out of business. And they're literally in the same exact industry. So, belief in your company, think of it this way. If you thought today your company's going to be gone in 2 weeks, right? So I have 0 faith, 0 belief in my company that they're even going to be here in 2 weeks. What do you think the odds are? People are going to be jumping up and down, excited, crushing emails, right? Getting after it, executing on their strategy. What do you think the odds are that's going to happen? It's not going to happen. So again, as you're looking at your notes going, man, my belief in my company is only a 2. What do we need to do to improve that? Here's another one I like about this slide. Belief in your company. Is this actually even true? Because a lot of times, just rumors and influence in that company have convinced us that something actually is true, and it's not even true. So here's a statement that I often ask myself when I'm talking about the company I'm working with. What would I have to think, right? Like, let's say my belief is a 0. What would I have to think or know about this company to move me to a 2? Not a 10, not an 8, but just move it 1 or 2 on the needle. It's kind of exciting because the closer you can get each one of these segments to 6, 7, 8, you can't imagine the amount of productivity that you can get done when these core beliefs are in alignment. Here's the next one. And it's kind of interesting. You'll look down in the corner of this slide, and you'll see a Samsung product. Now, I use Samsung products. I use Apple products, right? They all have a use. But do you remember when the airline industry said, hey, there are certain Samsung products that these are not safe to fly at all, right? They're not even safe. I don't even know you can have these at your house, right? I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it was pretty extreme there for a little bit. Think of if I'm working with Samsung and I'm worried about the stewardess coming on the plane, because this is what would happen. The stewardess would say, look, if you have this Samsung product, you got to get it off the plane. It can't be on the plane. If I'm a rep for Samsung, what do you think that did for my belief? Do you think that moved me closer to a 10, which is the highest belief, or do you think that moved me down to a 0, right? So again, when you're analyzing the data on your products, be fair with yourself and ask yourself that question: where am I at with my products? We've talked about belief in our industries, right? We've talked about belief in our company, right? We believe in our products, belief in the profit. Where most people get paused, I call it the mun. It's kind of a fun word, it's a Francism, we call them. The mun, because it isn't necessarily money. Money doesn't motivate people, although money can be a great tool, right? What is that? Some people, it's spiritual, right? They know they're going to help house 50 homeless veterans. They get up and get moving, and there's no dollar amount you could pay them to do that. Some people, they're motivated to put in extra time because they're working hard right now to help their parents retire, right? Otherwise, their parents wouldn't retire, right? They have that, whatever that profit is that they're working toward. And if the compensation is not clear, like 0, it's not clear at all. I don't have any belief on how this compensation is going to work or how the profit works. 10 is, I am so crystal clear, I can't sleep at night. I'm excited. If you're a 4, right, again, you're probably not waking up on time. If you're a 4 in, like let's call profit, like health, right? Health is your first wealth. If you think eating a bag of Skittles every day, a pound of those every single day is going to get you healthy, you're going to continue on that habit, right? So belief in the profit. And here's the last one we'll talk about. Belief in the people, AKA yourself. Oftentimes in industries, guys, it'll be, well, this person's getting preferential treatment. I'm just not going to bother to work very hard, right? There's these statements that we begin to make, and things that affect the way we feel. And if we're thinking that way, we're probably creating that. So belief in the people, belief in yourself. Hey, if I was only as good looking as Travis, everybody would jump on a Zoom with me and take my call. They would buy tons of product, right? I have some type of belief. And if, when it comes to yourself and it comes to the people you work with, we say this: if it doesn't serve you, it probably shouldn't survive. You know, today is a new day for people. Now that you understand these beliefs, and maybe all of these you were 0 or 1, or maybe you're an 8, 9, or 10, congratulations, wherever you're at. It's a decision that you've made, right? This belief window to create it. So I challenge you to do this as we wrap up. Go ahead and take a peek at that number and think of it this way. Let's say you're a 1. Hey, what would it take for me to get to a 2? If you're an 8, what would it take me to get to 8.5, right? Well, these aren't massive jumps. They're just tweaks to our belief window that I can promise you this, that if we can help you make these tweaks, not only will your life never be the same, but your business will never be the same. So as we wrap up, one last slide. You know, we've given you a bunch of data. We've given you a bunch of really good ideas and concepts. I found after being on a Zoom like this, it's time to take massive action. So think of one thing, right? What is one thing I can do today? Is it jump on this Zoom? Awesome. Is it sit down with an industry expert and say, look, this is where I'm at. How can I improve this? How can I get more data on the products that I'm working with? How can I read more testimonials, right? It's just millimeter shifts that move the needle.